What's going on, people? Conversation with Haych. With a special guest today being me. Don't know. Basically, I thought, let me send out something to my friends and family just to say, what kind of questions would you want me to ask myself, answer? So here we go. What 5 characteristics would you use to sum yourself up? Unwavering faith, loyal, loving, funny, and consistent persistence. Mad thing, putting them 2 words together. You didn't even know them 2 words go like that. Persistent consistency. Who's your biggest influence, or who has been your biggest influence? My dad, very much so. Even though he supports the driest team in the world, also known as Man United, should be supporting these, man, but he supports Man United. Yeah, him, just because of his excellence in terms of like what he produces, whether that's work, whether that's music, whatever it is, he seeks a whole new level of excellence and stuff. So that's why he's my biggest influence. Who inspires you and why? Yeah, I'd probably still say my dad for those reasons. And then my granddad, rest in peace. Just because the same thing, the excellence, everything that he does. And even though all 3 of us may not do the same thing in terms of like how we go about things, we'll always seek that excellence in whatever we're doing. Even though it could be 3 different things, the excellence don't stop, it don't change. So what does a successful relationship look like to you? One that is centered on God, but one that's filled with love, like proper love, like not love where it's like, if you have an argument today, like the thing's done, like not that kind of love. I'm talking about, let's talk these things out, let's have a conversation, but let's be realistic about what's going on, like whether we're meant to be together, how we're going to sort these situations out. That's a successful relationship. And then continually, as you both evolve, continually working at stuff, whether that's a relationship of marriage, boyfriend and girlfriend, or just a friendship, like continuing to evolve. Like that's how friendships and relationships, that's how successful relationships last and grow. So yeah, that's what it looks like to me. One thing I wish I could do over when I was in London, it's my only it's not really a regret, but it's like, girl, this is my sorry for 2004. Can I do it again? Basically, I was in London, I was about 12, I was young. And I went to my auntie's house, and then my auntie and mum and like all of like my auntie's children, they were going to church. My auntie was like, listen, her son wanted to stay at home, but she was saying like, you can only stay at home if Hayden stays. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So there was like, yeah, stay at home. So they go church, come back, and it was like, oh yeah, church was great. We had this woman from America come and sing. So I was like, what was her name? There was like Katie Burrow. I was like, Katie Burrow? I've never heard this name. I've never heard this woman. And at this point, like my head, vocals was a big thing to me. Like if your vocals was then there's a big thing to me. I was like, Katie Burrow. And then one of them was like, no, it's not Katie, it was Kim. I was like, Kim Burrow? Who's Kim Burrow? And I was like, you mean Kim Burrell? They was like, yeah, Vex. If you don't know who Kim Burrell is, watch this. So you gotta be grateful. Yeah, I was Vex. So that's the only thing I wish I could do over. When did I personally find God? And what was the moment like of fully accepting? I personally found God when I was 18 years of age. And yeah, it was just a moment of like proper, felt like fulfillment. But I didn't want to be a hypocrite, so it took me a little bit of time. Even though I knew God was like meant to be in my life like really soon, I didn't want to be a hypocrite. Like I'd seen too many people get baptized and then give their heart to Christ, and then every day backsliding, every day moonwalking through the thing. And I didn't want to be that type of person. I knew I was going to, make mistakes and that, but I didn't want to be a consistent backslider. Then one day I wanted to like have some sort of relationship which kept me consistent. So yes, I was 18, and that moment was like, okay, so you need God. And I wanted to do it before I went to uni for some reason. Like I felt like God was going to protect me on a mad thing before I went to uni. So that's why that was my thinking. And then I had a dream that I couldn't cross the road that Jesus was on. So all these cars was going past like a motorway type thing. Now Jesus on the other side. All these people that was on my side were crossing, chilling, calm thing. Me now, I'm trying to cross, cars almost knocking me over in it. Then I woke up and I thought to myself, yo, that's a sign. That's what I felt anyway. That I needed God. Why is God real to me? Because I don't know what that noise was. That was mad. Mainly because there's times when I know I shouldn't, I've got where I've gotten to, got this far, be where I am, and God just continues to provide and come through like on a mad thing. It's crazy. But also provide life, because there's times when like life didn't seem like it was going to be a thing where I could just get through like circumstances outside of my control. I just thought, yo, God, if this is the time I'm meant to get taken out, yo, take me, dog. Let me come up there. That was my feeling, but he keeps keeping me, and that's how I know God's real, because there's certain situations, certain circumstances, certain rooms that I really shouldn't be in, but God just keeps me providing. So yeah, long question coming up. Alert. There's a difference between Christians in the clouds and Christians in reality. The former are the type to say everything happens for a reason, and the latter are the type to say bad things just happen to good people. Do you agree? No. What's your opinion and experience? I think I have a Christian that says one of those two things and leaves it at that. Dry. Because everything happens for a reason. There's a particular reason behind that. Bad things just happen to good people. I think that's worse, because you can't say bad things just happen to good people. That's not the case. It's not the case at all. Which one am I? Neither one of those people. Reason being, I'm the type of person who's like, everything does happen for a reason, but it's God's reasoning. God has a plan between Wagwan now and Wagwan later. Like, he has a plan, a bigger plan, and sometimes we feel like, yo, this can't be right. Why did God take this person? Why did God not give me that opportunity? Why is this person popping and I'm not popping? We're doing the same thing. Like, I'm putting in equal amount of work. You feel like it anyway. But God has a bigger plan. Like, it's that serious. God just has a bigger plan, and that's what it is. Everything happens for God's reasoning, and bad things just happen to good people is not the case. What made you decide to primarily do gospel DJing? Because no one was my age that was doing it. Like, in terms of the music that I wanted to hear, like, there was banging music, gospel music going on, and you had all the older DJs, Proclaimers, the Zorros, the Shekinahs, the Kalechis. You had all the older DJs like popping, but like no one was playing what I wanted to hear. And there was music out there, and I just kept finding this music, and I thought I need an avenue to do this, so I just thought I'd start DJing. I didn't start DJing until I was like, or even think about doing it until I was like 22. So it's not like a life goal thing, but it just happened to, work out like that. So that's why I decided to primarily do gospel DJing. I do other types of DJing, but I just said, you know what, everything that I promote, everything that I put out from a DJing standpoint will just be gospel. But don't get it twisted, man. You get me? What is the testimony that has the most impact on the man you have become today? Probably my grandma's and my granddad's. Mainly because, not in terms of their earlier life, but in terms of their later life. Like, especially my grandma, she had dementia. So I saw the transition of how it affected her and her movements and what she did and how she thought and all these types of things. But she always had faith. And the last thing that was to go was the songs and the music that she knows as normally what happens. And she just, you could tell she had the faith. Like, she knew where she was going. Like, so she wasn't worried. Do you know what I mean? And it probably was for us. We were trying to keep her around, if anything. If we're being honest, like, we were trying to keep her around as long as possible in some ways for us, but we wanted her to have the best care, best form of life. But she had faith in God. Like, whatever happens. Same my granddad. His faith was crazy. Like, whatever happens. Like, I'm ready. So rest in peace to both of them, What challenges do you personally face now as a young Christian man, and what words of encouragement would you give to other men facing the same challenges? Just making sure that, my situation is cool, my family's cool, making sure that I can provide to a certain level and be a head of a household, but also do all the other things that I want to do, DJing, conversation with Haych, all these kind of things, and do it to a certain standard, and not letting what other people are doing affect me in terms of, like, if I see someone else pop in, like, that shouldn't put negativity on my thing. That should push me to want to do better. And then I should also want to promote their thing, which is what I do. But not all of us, there's times when it doesn't always feel that way for us. And what I'd say is just lean on God. Like, God has a bigger plan for everything that we're trying to do. I'd say lean on God for absolutely everything, from, you know, your ability and your mental health in terms of like wanting to provide, and sometimes not wanting to speak to your wife or your family or your friends about certain feelings that you're going through. Like, lean to God, because God is going to give you answers, he'll give you signs, and it may not come in the time that you want it to, but it will come. It will come if your faith is there. It will come. And sometimes he gives you signs and we just don't look at them, we don't see them, and just like, but yeah, man, lean on God for everything. That would be my encouragement. My few words. Lean on God. What deep down keeps you motivated, positive, and driven? Family, knowing that they're okay. The ideas and all the things that I want to implement in my life, but most importantly, God, like, that keeps me motivated, knowing that he's got a plan for my life and I'm just running the thing, you know. You get me? Knowing that I'm just running the thing, that's what keeps me motivated, positive, and driven. One gotta go. I know their work. Which one? Commissioned, Winans, Clark Sisters, Hezekiah Walker. Get all the way out of here. Get Hezekiah Walker out of here. No disrespect, Hezekiah. You get me? If you want to do a conversation with Haych, shout me. But yeah, Commission, Wavy. What do you mean? Marvin Sapp and Fred and all the other man them that I don't know their names. But Everlasting Love, Ordinary, won't do. Just won't do. Lord, I Can Love Again. Oh, come on. Stop it. Winans, just classic. Heart and Soul. Heart and Soul was the first album that I remember from when I was a kid, that looking at the cover and physically remembering holding this album in my hand. So yeah, Heart and Soul. Winans, and then before that. What? Yes, Clark Sisters just had a biopic the other day with all their rhythms on there, so don't even get me started on that. And Hezekiah Walker, yeah, you can get out of here. No disrespect. What song best describes your 2020 motto? It's a song called Seasons. Some more. It's been my song for ages, but it talks about seasons changing, and trying to still remain and putting your trust in God, even though it's not a gospel song, but that's what it talks about. So here's a little snippet of it right here.
God, please bless my family. Cover them with your army. You said in your word, no weapon form can harm me. Keep me in your will. Lord, keep the water still.
What advice would you give your younger self? Although your head is long, although your body is skinny, and in a fragile state, as it may seem, the girl them, the lady them, still love you. That's it. That's it, man. That's it. The lady them, they still love you, man. They still love you because you're a dairy milk chocolate. Huh? If the funding was no object, what would you put in place for the youth in today's society so they can reach their potential? I'd get all my brethren who are sick at dealing and handling and have a passion for youth, and I'd get them running community centres all over the UK, then eventually over the world. Yeah, that's what I'd do. Because I feel like, and I would have real life things, like we're going to talk about taxes, we're going to talk about mortgage, we're going to talk about, you know, shopping, like running a household, cooking like proper meals, not pineapple upside down cake with a cherry on top. Man ain't made pineapple upside down cake since school, blood. Why did we even have to listen? Reload it! Relationships, love, sexuality, all these things, we're gonna have those kind of conversations in there, and build people up. That's what I'll do. Why does a whole generation lack the basic knowledge of God's word? Because some of us is lazy and we'd rather be on Instagram for half an hour than be in our word. And we would rather be on Twitter tweeting nonsense. That's our tweets. But what about the Bible? That's me singing out the fact that I'm trying to say that some of us are lazy. And that's the nooks and crannies of it. Some of us are lazy. We don't get into our word. We don't see it as important. When it is the most important thing that will benefit us. Like, in our lives. Like, that we can follow, go to, read, has an answer for everything. Like, it's the most important thing. But some of us just get lazy. Sometimes I'm just like, I done 4 chapters today, Jesus, can I, not do 5? And sometimes I'll do something for twice the amount of time I just read my Bible for and study my Bible for. So that's why we lack basic knowledge of God's word. So when certain people are preaching, we can't even, determine whether they're telling the truth or not. We're just like, amen. Sounds about right. Jesus did say that at some point. But how do we know if we don't read the Bible? Do you see yourself ever becoming a licensed minister, pastor, or bishop? The bishop thing is a bit heavy. It's a bit weighty, them brethren? It's a bit weighty, weighty. The pastor thing, slightly weighty. Minister, potentially, maybe. Is there a crash course on that? I can just do a 1 month thing. Just every day, 30 days.
That's serious?
I'm joking. I'm absolutely joking. Yeah, minister probably. Yeah. But pastor and bishop, it's a bit weighty, weighty. What's your purpose? To show God's love through me and my actions on this earth. So it doesn't matter what I'm doing, it doesn't matter who I'm doing it for or a conversation I'm having with, just to show God's love and show be a proper representation of what Jesus wanted me to do. That could be come across in my DJing or whatever, could be anything. That's what I think my purpose is. I think I've got that's my generic purpose, but I think that's my main purpose, is to spread the gospel. But yeah, I think I'm here to just make a difference in people's lives, and bring together a generation. How do you find balancing the roles of a husband, son, cousin, regional youth leader, DJ, preacher, employee, soon to be dad, and then 2 ticks with someone else who has to balance similar roles or of responsibility? How do I find balance? Sometimes I don't. That's the realist. Sometimes I'm just in balance. Because I don't have the balance. So I have to try and find time or whatever. But the main thing is go into God and just be like, yo, big man, take some of this thing off me, But it's also about prioritizing. So I'm very good at compartmentalizing certain things in my head. So certain thing has a certain level of importance, it'll go to the front. Certain thing doesn't, put it over here for a little bit. We'll deal with that when we get time. And that's probably why I do the work that I do in terms of jobs and that.
Right, breaking news.
All of that balance and compartmentalizing and all that truly means nothing if you don't have the right partner. I can't be the greatest husband that I am without my wife being amazing as she is. And obviously we're about to be parents as well. So we need to work together. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm focused on the wrong things, doing other stuff, where my focus should be on my wife and all those kind of things. And that's what I'm talking about in terms of the compartmentalizing. So the balance is great, compartmentalizing is great, but if you don't have the right woman, the right man, if you're a woman, the right partner, essentially, then there's no point, because it's just gonna all crumble. And then you need God. You get me? You need God. Lean on God. What promise to yourself do you still need to fulfill? I still need to open up all these community centers that I said I was going to do. But that requires me getting into a place of wealth, of significant wealth, where I can invest and properly put my time into those kind of things. But it's a long-term goal, life goal, So that's the one promise that I can think of that I'm yet to fulfill. And if you had an opportunity to get a message across to millions of people, what would that message be? Jesus is real, God is love. And don't let some of the Christians that you see determine what God is, because some of them are fake and hypocrites. That's a deep message. Nah, basically, Jesus is real, God is love, and just don't let people, humans who make mistakes all the time, be your basis for what Jesus is. That's the realist. Yeah. So that's been the Conversations with Haych. Conversations with Haych. Yeah, we'll have more content coming. My mum says I don't do this enough, so if you like, comment, share, and subscribe somewhere up in this region, right up here, so that would be great. Thank you guys for listening. Have a great, as best as you can. rest of the week.